Motion carries. Agenda item 9, we also have a request on the table for a variance. And Mr. Attorney, this is some discussion that came up last night of the difference between a variance and a major conditional use. Can you enlighten us on that?
Yes, so a major conditional use is actually provided for in the zoning code. So there are minor uses, there are major conditional uses, and there are uses that are specifically identified. So that's the way it works, right? There are specifically identified types of structures or businesses that can go into an area, right? Those are permitted. And then there are minor and major uses that are specifically identified. A major conditional use requires a great deal of work and submission of various documents to the planning commission and then ultimately to the city board. A variance does something completely different from all of those. It says, I want to do something that is not permitted or allowed as a use under the code. And so it's an exception for various reasons to what the code provides.
Okay, and just for full transparency, I know that you weren't here last night. Mr. Patel is here. He provided some information last night around the time when we granted the, I guess was a variance to the last part of that. Mr. Williams.
It was.
He brought some information to us that I know has to be validated because we just taken his word for it. But the information indicates that Mr. Williams already had a sale in progress when that was granted to him, the variance was granted to him. I don't know if that has any bearing on anything, but that was new to me, and we just learned of that last night.
There's sort of two reactions to that. One, as you point out, I have no way of knowing that. I haven't seen any documents to support that one way or the other. Secondly, though, Mr. Patel has a request, and I'm sure this board would love to hear it if there are factors that relate to that request, such as a previous sale or other things. That's secondary. If he has a request, let's hear what that is, and then determine whether or not there are factors that favor granting it or not.
Well, I'm gonna ask Mr. Patel to come back to the podium the board sees fit.
Good evening, everyone.
We'll just let you kind of reiterate, you know, what you said last night. We do have the attorney here last night, and there was some questions that we could not answer.
Yes, sir. Okay, so in December 13th, me and Jim, we had a text back and
And
forth.
when you say Jim, you mean Jim Williams?
Jim Williams, yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Mr. Jim Williams, we had a text me that he had somebody interested in buying his store. What will I be interested in transferring the lead since you don't have longer term than I was planning for renovation for that property? So I said, in that case, I can consider taking over that business. And then there was discussion between me and him that he came to see me at the store where I was, and he didn't really mention at the time that he wanted to sell it. And I mentioned, okay, this is terms of when I renew your lease out. Before I renew your lease out, I will have to renovate that property. Because that's the main purpose that I want purchase the property to renovate and extend it. So the original extension was done outside, but just we have to take this 1 or 2 walls out and expand it. But after that, I knew his intention was to sell it to somebody. So I just kind of leave it alone after that.
Would you have renewed the lease to Mr. Williams for Williams Corner Package Store?
Yeah, I will, if he was agreed to my terms and conditions, because I did not want him to operate a business while I was going to do renovation. But
Yeah, that's a point that came up last night. He told Mr. Williams that it would take him approximately 2 to 3 months to do his renovation, and he would have to cease his operations while the renovation was taking place.
Gotcha. But if you were willing to wait that period of time, would you have renewed the
yeah,
lease?
if he said yes, then there will be different negotiation, but between me and him will be done.
All right, my second question is, if you don't mind sharing it with us, would it have been your intention to increase the rent or the lease amount?
Yes.
If you were willing to?
Yes, there will be a little bit increase on the rent because of the renovation that I was gonna do and the merchandise, I mean, the equipment that I was gonna provide.
Okay. And then, what is your request for this board? I understand you've talked about Mr. Williams so far. What is it that you'd like?
Okay, so my request to this board, since he already moved to a different location, or he's got a variance of 18 months. So regardless, he's gotta move within that time frame. So why not I just can go ahead and get my permit and get that business going?
Okay. Now, the mayor's point, is he operating the liquor store, the package store in town center, or is someone else doing that?
You're talking about Mr. Jim?
Yes.
To my knowledge, he has added some partners.
Okay. What does that mean? Is Mr. Williams operating a liquor store at town center or not, based on what you know?
At the time, I'm not sure. But what I was told, that he's not there anymore.
And your request to the planning commission was to operate a package store at what had been the previous location of Williams Quarterback?
Yes, sir.
All right. Those are all the questions I have this morning.
Any questions from the board? Any questions for the attorney?
With the question I have for the attorney, with the variance that was granted to Mr. Williams for 18 months to operate at the town center, does that, the bearing of that on the existing ordinance that we have in place that restricts the location from 1 mile to the other, how does that affect Mr. Patel?
Doesn't. One of the things that I've said repeatedly about that is that when dealing with this ordinance, you ought to exclude Mr. Williams and Williams Quarterback. The reason I said that is for this very reason, right? He has a variance. He doesn't fall within this.
Okay, so his.
Otherwise, you apply the ordinance as it is written.
And based on the ordinance, he falls outside of that mile restriction from the other existing liquor stores.
He does, right? Because otherwise, he would be in violation right now. But of course, we granted a variance to him. That is Mr. Williams.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about Mr. Patel's request. His request falls outside of that mile restriction from the one existing permanent.
That's correct. If you're asking me whether or not, if you exclude Mr. Williams operating in town center, whether or not that location, that former location, further south on the highway, is a mile from any other existing liquor store, the answer is that's correct, it is.
Yeah. Now, when the 18-month variance, and I know we're flipping back over on Mr. Williams, if Mr. Patel was granting his request and he's in operation, then when Mr. Williams or whoever that may be is operating that store, then they have to locate a mile from the 2 existing liquor stores according to our ordinance.
Maybe. Mr. Williams has a specific provision for previously identified potential locations further south on Highway 45, right? And so he's an outlier in all of this.
Okay.
And so potentially, if you grant Mr. Patel's request, and there's some other things, it's not just this board, obviously, there are state requirements and all sorts of things, right? But potentially, if then after 18 months, Mr. Williams, and I'm not talking about other people, Mr. Williams actually acquires that land further south and builds, then he would be allowed to do that under his agreement. So you have potentially, given the state of the world today, and then consider 18 months out, 3 liquor stores, one of which
Would be less than a month.
that's exactly right.
Now, my next question, the agreement that was made with Mr. Williams and granting him his variance, if I'm not mistaken, the agreement with the city and the verbiage that was in the contract, for lack of better words, the contract,
Yes, sir.
was Mr. Williams.
It's specific to him.
So any other parties that's joining hearsay or whatever, if it's proven that he's got whatever partnership or other entity or LLC or whatever that it may be, then does that contract still stand?
I'd have to see it, but if he is hands off, that's the clearest example that it would not be him. If he's involved in some partnership and it's still him, that's a closer question. But what I heard was the thinking that he, quote, sold it. Now, that's true, and that's not him. And that's pretty clear, right? And so that's why uncertainty is not a great thing when you're talking business. Because as I understand it, you don't know, and neither do you.
Right, I'm not sure right now, so no, because the words are that,
I'm sorry, what was that part?
that's what I heard, that they eventually changed hands.
Yes, sir.
And that came out from one of his past employees.
Yeah, that may be, again, you can't just open a liquor store in the city of Westport. It's not that simple. So you can't just change hands, right? That's the difficulty I'm having with this, but there you are.
And that should be easy to find out with who the liquor license is issued to.
And privilege license and other
And other,
things that will happen. Again, you don't just, here I am, right? That's not the way it works.
So when we find out, like, if it's not him, and then how we proceed.
Well, if it's not him, you got a couple of choices, right? But again, the clearest one is that after 18 months, that variance would be over, but the variance was granted to him. Now, if it's somebody else who's operating a liquor store between an existing liquor store on Highway 50 and Town Center, then that violates our ordinance. Someone can't show up today and open a liquor store over in, I guess is it Tower Center? Yeah.
well, the clocks
Yeah, right, under the big clock, right? And so somebody can't just show up today and open up a liquor store over here, given the language of our ordinance. And if it's anybody other than Mr. Williams, right, then that's in violation of our ordinance. The question is, we don't know that.
So we still.
And with him even, it's 18 months.
So, I guess my next question is that when he came up here, it didn't sound like he came up here operating in good faith. In his request,
With the assumption
that if this happened,
right, and I'm loath as an attorney to get into stuff I don't know. I can tell you what I know, but I'm not going to venture off into transactions that
may or may not.
that is at least double hearsay.
Do we need to say this later?
Well, I don't think the issue with Mr. Williams is that.
That's the point that I've been trying to make. Mr. Williams has a variance. Forget about him as you evaluate other requests. He's the outlier. He's the exception. Every other request ought to be evaluated as if the world did not contain Williams package.
Well, the name of the package store changed. It's no longer 45 corner package. I forgot what the new, you know what the new name is?
Good time, wine and spirit.
That's what I thought. And the two individuals, and I'm just giving you the names I was told, was a Sharp gentleman and Albert gentleman.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I've seen it too. But I don't know whether someone's come to City Hall and done the things that are appropriate there. I don't know what interactions been had with the state. Mr. Jones and I received a request from Mr. Williams that we had to fill out a document for the state which said that Mr. Williams locating his liquor store in Tower Center would be in compliance with the local zoning ordinances. And we said, yes, him. And it was Williams, not somebody else. That was a requirement. I've not seen anybody else submit to the city any such requirement. And I'll say again, you don't just open a business in the city of West Point. or anywhere. He'll just show up one day and hang out or something and say, I'm in business, thank you very much. And city, y'all try to figure it out later. That's not how it works.
So if it's determined that he and Mr. Williams owns at least a minority share in this new operation, and that would put him still in compliance.
Arguably.
All right, so.
And so all of that is interesting. It just has nothing to do with Mr. Patel's request this year.
With that being said, there is a request on the floor for a variance. Any more discussion?
Why did the player leave, man?
They gave you the reasons on the letter.
Well, the main one that they have listed as number one, it's incorrect.
Yeah, number one from the planning commission is just incorrect.
Their interpretation.
I know why they did that and why they thought that, and I think it's a good faith basis that they given, but they don't have the detail that you all have. And so I get why they said that. They're just wrong. Yeah, it's a factual misunderstanding about number two.
Are we ready to act on agenda item?
Yes, sir. Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we allow, Mr. Taylor to operate his liquor store at 6160 Highway 45 off in the south.
Second. The motion properly second and discussion.
Provided he complies with any other requirement.
That's all we have right now.
What's all you have right now?
I mean, this liquor service request only.
I think the attorney is saying that you would still have to go through all proper channels and get permitted and all the things pertaining to opening, because you would be opening a new liquor store.
Yes, I'll be opening a liquor store. That's right.
There's a motion and a second, any more discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Agenda item 10, last night we had lengthy discussion about potentially updating our building codes, fire codes, etc. Do we need Mr. Ryder to come back to the podium, or are we clear on what the request is? The request is to, at this point, to purchase the new manual, which costs approximately $1,600.
Yes, sir. I presented. I presented, you guys with a, itemized detail of the cost. The one that's highlighted, that would be, for the, fire department to take care of. So, from the building perspective, it's roughly 1,200 some odd change.
The total cost is $1,573.09.
Yes, that's with IFG involved in this. And then I'll talk with Chief Wilburn to pick up their tab on
When he goes to share,
there. With,
take my part.
well, I mean, they'll have Cody and, at the fire inspector will have full access.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
But yeah, but any updates will be shared, period, through the city, contractors and homeowners alike.
That's why I asked more you use.
Part of the rules and stuff in there is going to be, it's called digital copies. So when contractors come in or builders come in, and they want to know something, you immediately go to the computer, print off a sheet of paper that tells them exactly what it is that they're about to do.
Like, send it to them, PDF
I
file.
send it right here to them, and right here, in black and white.
Right,
This is what it says.
take down the ring.
Mr. Riley, the book purchase is one thing, but is this a request that we update our own codes to be compliant,
Yeah.
consistent with these?
Yes,
Is
sir.
that what the request is?
Yes, sir. As you can see, we've we're really outdated in some areas. But my schooling that the city has allowed me to go to has provided me the knowledge to keep everything updated. And that's where I've been going with that so far.
And you want the city to adopt these latest additions.
Well, any changes, I'll bring them, what's here now and what's updated. And I would like the board to say, hey, okay, job well done, or no, we need to take this out and add this. So it'll be a process once the books come in.
Understood.
But I can't mix and match if I don't have the books.
Gotcha.
I mentioned last night to him, Mr. Attorney, to make sure that before we make any changes in the codes, because I wasn't sure if that required a public hearing and all the other things that we have to do when we change the policy. So I did tell Mr. Ryder that once we get the books and we identify what parts of our code we want to change, to do it in lockstep.
Yes, sir. And that raises another point, Mr. Mayor. There's a lot of codification we need to do. There are things that are certainly not codified in our ordinances. And then that ultimately leads to some confusion and lack of knowledge. That's a big project we have to undertake. This board meets every month. We're passing ordinances, we're doing things, and it has to get codified at some point, including what you ultimately do. So, yes, sir.
Do we have any more questions?
You also said that last night, that update is in effect, so we operated on 15, and they got new 24 out.
Yes, that will go with contractors that are not up to date with theirs, which they should be. And if they wanted to go back and say, hey, well, what code are y'all up to? And you look in the book and it says 15, then they almost allow, but by state regulation, they can't. The state still supersedes, as to say, you have to comply with the updates.
Well, fire code side, they went to within 6 years of the most current code. And we're 15, or we're 25, and they start counting that fire.
You could affect our insurance.
And another point is to add, we want to make sure that people that come to the city of West Point to do business, we want to make sure that they're building and doing work in a manner that's safe to our residents. And staying in compliance with the updated codes, I think, ensures that. So I'm all
There's one deal we just provided last month, found out about the new codes, EPA is coming out with air conditioning systems are actually going to contain flammable gas. For free.
Actually, not one explosive, and that's in the IFC.
So those systems have to be put in correctly, not by the chief body of the road, because obviously, you've got a split unit there, there's your coil and all that stuff under there, the river runs through there, like low speed source.
They gotta have a leak detection that shuts it off
Yes.
if there's a leak.
And all that's, like all this technology and stuff on a lot of it's not running our codes.
Times have changed, and we gotta either change with it or get left behind.
Amen.
That's where we are. So any more questions? If not, is there a motion?
Make a move that we approve the purchase of the 24 code book.
Second.
It's been moved and properly second in discussion. Only discussion I have is, the purchase of this is included in your budget, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any more discussion? There being none, all in favor by sign of vote aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 11, we heard from Attorney Jace Dalrymple last month concerning an environmental easement that the city currently has on a tract of land belonging to the George Bryan Trust, approximately 34 acres. I know he's had some correspondence with our attorney. Attorney, are you satisfied with what you know about this?
Mr. Mayor, I think the best way for me to comment about my view on this is that I won't pose any objections to the board's consideration of this request.
Okay, I'm gonna dig a little bit.
Okay.
Are there any cons that we should be aware of? Is there any clawback or anything that could put the city in any type of detriment if this is indeed awarded?
So this is a conservation preservation easement. That's a permanent easement that Mr. Brian left. He wanted to have this land remain in kind of a pristine, natural state. And as I understand it, there are certain people who now also own this property who like to look at some commercial venture, I think real estate related with respect to the property. It's complicated by the fact that they are also owners of the property and there's a trust and that sort of thing. And so that's why I said I had no objection to it. The ones most likely to have some issue are the very ones who own it. So it's complicated, Mr. Mayor. Okay.
But no detriment to the city if this is granted. Any pushback or any negativity down the road would be strictly on the trust of Mr. George Brown.
Yeah, that's the thing. So the answer to your first question is, generally speaking, if I just looked at that, I'd say, well, it's a permanent easement. It is what it is. And that land will have trees and turtles from now on, right? But given all of the circumstances, I think there is little risk to the city and quite frankly, not much loss of value overall, even if there was someone to complain. But you hit it. I don't think there is anyone to complain about it.
And the gain to it would be additional tax royal properties as construction or whatever investments made on the property.
Yes, there is that conflict. That's a conflict with what he said he wanted to do with it. But again, he also left the land to these very folks. So there's some, and I shouldn't say it that absolutely. There's some exceptions to a permanent easement, and one or two of those exceptions may actually apply.
So would we put houses on it? That land?
More than like, when Mr. Darrell came in, he mentioned the housing development.
That's what they want to do.
Also, maybe an adjustment of how this reads, unless something that I'm not aware of has changed. I believe the trust is the John H. Bryan Grandchildren's Trust and not the George Bryan Trust. I think it belongs to the French family, which is grandchildren of John Jr.
Yeah.
So to grant this, the motion needs to be made to give someone the legal authority to negotiate this or to act this. That's how the motion needs to be made.
Yeah, I think that what they've asked for is for us to release whatever interest we have in the property.
Okay. Now, who would be that person on our side? Would that be you or would that be CAO or after the vote is taken?
Yeah, it can be signed by the mayor or the CAO. However, the vote is couched.
We'll let Randy sign.
But authority to execute the vote.
So it'll be ready out for the Bryan Trust. That's what we be seeing, right?
Yeah, we'll look to see.
It may be the John A.
Yeah, we'll make sure we have the language right. We'll have a quick claim deed.
Okay.
And that's the other thing. All it says is whatever interest we have,
We release.
we release it. And we release it to them. And Mayor, the reason it was further complicated is that that's an additional layer of protection on us. All we're doing is saying, whatever rights we have to the property, you now have. That, we're not telling people to build anything on it. We're just saying, whatever rights we have, you have. You know, good luck.
So
Makes sense. Yeah.
what, Mr. Mayor, what benefit we get out of that?
$300 a year.
That's our fair out here.
But it's beautiful.
Is there a motion?
Mayor, I make a motion that we grant Mr. Randy Jones the authority to execute the quitclaim deed for the 34 acres and the, I'm just gonna say Bryan Trust at this point.
Second.
Move proper second, discussion. There none, all in favor by the sign of vote aye. Any opposed?
So, and then Madam City Clerk, I want to be clear, the agenda talks about for potential development. That is none of our business. We're just releasing whatever extra we have and giving it to them.
Agenda item 12, we've had a pretty extensive cleanup project going on, blight project going on. We've been deeming, thanks to our code enforcer, Johnny Samuel, heading it up. We've been dinging properties as being blight and getting involved in the cleanup of some of these properties. And it's now time to formally assess these fees to the taxes of said properties. There are 10, and I think legally we gotta take them one by one. So I will read the date on them, the property address, and the parcel number, and the owner if I have it. I don't think I have owner's name on any of it.
For housekeeping purposes, if the motion is made with just the address, is that enough instead of having to repeat the parcel number for the motion? Can you repeat that? For expediting, is the motion to assess this to 131 Grove Street, is that suffice versus having to repeat the parcel number? I'm asking the city attorney.
Yes, I think that properly identifies it.
Okay.
All right, first property in question, date of service, I guess, was September 4th of this year, 131 Grove Street. The amount is $250 to be assessed.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we assess the 250 to 131 Grove Street.
Second.
Move properly second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Second property, dated 8/22/25, in the service, 784 Griffin Street is the address. Assessment amount $100.
Mayor, I make a motion that we assess $100 to 784 Griffin Street.
Move properly second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next one, dated 7/1/25, address 246 Flame Avenue, in the amount of $2,000.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we assess $2,000 for 246 Bryan Avenue.
It's been moved properly second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next one dated, July 30, 2025, property address 899 East Flame Avenue, in the amount of $2,500.
Mayor, make a motion that we assess $2,500 to 899 East Bryan Avenue.
Second.
Motion properly second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next one dated 7/28/25, 123 Little Street, in the amount of $2,000.
Mayor, make a motion that we assess $2,000 for 123 Little Street.
Second.
Move properly second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next one, 8/22/25 is dated 156 Llewellyn Street, in the amount of $100.
Mayor, make a motion to assess $100 to 156 Llewellyn Street.
Second.
Motion properly second. Any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next one dated 6/13/25, address 156 Llewellyn Street. Did you just do that one?
That same house, but
Different dates.
different ways.
All right, the amount is $100.
Mayor, make a motion to assess $100 for 156 Llewellyn Street.
Second.
Moving properly second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next one dated 6/13/2025, address 419 Bayview Street, in the amount of $100.
Mayor, make a motion to assess $100 for 419 Maple Street.
Moving properly second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next one dated 8/15/2025, address again is 419 Bayview Street, in the amount of $100.
Mayor, make a motion to assess $100 for 419 Main Street.
Second. Moved properly second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Next one dated 6/13/25, address 14 James Street in the amount of $100.
Mayor, make a motion to assess $100 for 14 James Street.
Second. Moved properly second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, gentlemen, for that. Agenda item 13, we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces of equipment to declare surplus if the board sees fit. This equipment is currently in public works, and to my knowledge, they are all lawnmowers that no longer work. We'll take these on. I'll entertain a motion to collectively, accept this group of, serial numbers and deem them as surplus.
Mayor, make a motion that the serial numbers presented for the equipment are be deemed surplus.
Second.
The move properly second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 14, last night we heard some discussion about our EV charging station construction. We did run into a little glitch several months ago when we started demolition down there. We found out we had a collapsed line. We have since then gotten the line repaired. Its project is ready to move forward. And so this line item is to approve the recommendation of Atwell and Gent. They are recommending that we award the contract to MDR Construction.
Mayor, I make a motion that we accept their recommendation and award MDR Construction contract $20,711.80.
Second.
Motion and properly second, that MDR be the winning bid on that one. Any discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 15, we heard from CAO Jones last night concerning the lowest bid for the hangar access road paving related to our McCarran Airfield. I think it was determined last night that TM Productions was the lowest bid at $108,683.50. Any questions for Mr. Jones? Do we need him to come to the podium?
And you said last night that PM Productions has done work for the city in the past.
Of course, is this still the money we got from the federal government? The money we spending, that's the money we got from the federal government?
It's a special award, no match. $128,000 appropriation. We get, we get to keep the rest of it.
Okay.
But there's more money, there's no match money left.
So the $20,000 difference, Mr. Jones, what can that be spent on? Can that be spent on other improvements?
Well, I'm sure it can. We have a number of projects coming in, back to layout plans for the airport. I just need to talk to them. Make sure that send where it needs to be. There's a number of projects to do this. And I'm pretty sure that if it might put up fencing, for instance, you know, we have quite enough money to do all the fencing. But if we can move it, I'll find a place.
You know, we don't like sending money back. Do we have a motion?
No, Mr. Mayor, make a motion that we approve the recommendation for TM Productions for the hangar road paving project.
Second.
Moved properly second, any discussion?
I just point out that they're $40,000 less than the next closest bid, the next lowest bid. It's either like super impressive or you know, a corner is getting cut. You're saying that they've done work for us in the past and they've done a great job.
Or they done, what can you do?
Okay,
Tell you who their feet to the fire, consultant engineer,
fair enough.
you know. They've got to do it. If they ain't standing, then they're pretty good.
Any more discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye? Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 16, it's on the agenda for consideration. CAO Randy Jones has, or is currently, and has been for quite some time, receiving a $650 a month travel allowance, I guess you'd call it. And that's been asked to be put on the agenda, and it is up for discussion at this time.
Yes, this is just something that we looked at. I'm sure when this was implemented, it was, with the lack of vehicles, and Mr. Jones was driving his own vehicle, and he has done so for, a number of years. I don't know how long, about 20 years, been driving his own vehicle.
Been running on with it for 20 years.
20 years. And, in that time, if you do the numbers, we can turn that into, asset to the city, with just with the lease purchase of a vehicle. And that'll be something that Mr. Jones will be driving instead of driving his personal vehicle. Now he'll be driving the city's vehicle. And at the end of that time, and then the city is still end up with a vehicle, which is an asset for the city, as opposed to just paying to Mr. Jones to drive his own vehicle. And then this will be something that the city will have after 4 years or 5 years, and then with that same amount of money, and then the city will have another vehicle, and then if we need to purchase another one, we need to purchase another one. So this is just something that we looked at, and I think it would be something for us to consider.
Well, we currently have a contract with Enterprise, and we're regularly leasing vehicles for the police department and looking to expand that citywide. So just piggyback on what you said, there may be some opportunity within that lease program where we can get a vehicle that is exclusive for City Hall, or not only Mr. Jones' use for, but when the need arises for anybody else in City Hall that will need a vehicle. To my knowledge, we don't have any vehicles designated to City Hall personnel. So everybody in City Hall, when they are doing city business, are using their own personal vehicles. Is that accurate?
Well, just I did have Chief to look up, because he was looked into the Enterprise for getting us some improving our fleet at the police department. Well, one of the things that we came up with was a 2026 Ford Explorer, and that would cost us about $36,000. And there's a 2026 Dodge Wrangler that would be at $34,000. And it's just a couple of vehicles. Of course, you have a lot of vehicles that we can look at to put at City Hall, or to give Mr. Jones so that he can ride. The main thing is that the city will then own that particular vehicle. Now, if you get his Ford, you can turn it in and then renew it. They get a little longer tickets, and then you just go ahead and get another vehicle. So,
As I think about it, the liability piece also. Sometimes, when people are involved in accidents, I know that one question that a claim rep is going to ask is what were you doing at the time? Was it personal use, or was it business use? And sometimes the water's going to get muddy when you personally drive a vehicle and doing city business, or doing business, if you will. So it's on the table. Anybody else got any comments?
Ken, are you proposing to buy a vehicle or leasing the vehicle and then exercising the right to purchase it at the end of the lease?
And that's what the discussion was about too, is up for all of us to discuss. Either option, we have a lease purchase option that we do with the police department. We also have the purchase outright. Right now, we are doing the $650 per month that and we don't see a return from that outside of, we have a bought vehicle.
Well, my vote would be for leasing, and that holds true for all vehicles citywide, because I know you referred to it as an asset, my experience with vehicles, vehicles are a liability. They start appreciating, the moment you sign the line and take ownership of them. So I'm inclined to eventually get away from buying vehicles, for city business, as much as we can, and more so lease. That way, most of the life of, the time that we use these vehicles, they're under warranty. Number one, they should be more fuel efficient vehicles. And so you get to the point of wearing one out, you just turn it in and get another one and just keep the process.
So there's two arguments. Ken is saying, like, instead of and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but instead of a $650 stipend per month, you would say, put that money towards something that's an asset that would go on, balance sheet or whatever. What you're saying is that we should apply that $650 to a lease so that City Hall would have a vehicle for multiple people to drive.
I think any option, either one of those options, but I'm just more inclined to entertain leases more so than purchasing, especially for what we do, with city vehicles. We're pretty hard on vehicles and wear them out, and I think it's just a losing proposition from the word go and buy.
And also, when you lease it, you don't have to pay it.
Yeah, they're under warranty, traditionally under warranty for the life of their use of the time that you use.
Well, can you get a new vehicle? I don't know what they cost, but like all in with insurance and everything, can you place it for $650 a month?
I think that's a relative statement, depending on the type of vehicle.
You can't get a vehicle on state contract, no. We can probably get one a lot cheaper. Like Mr. Mayor said, it's kind of relative because it depends on what route you go. If we get one on state contract, we can buy one from another municipality that they're getting rid of that still has some tread on the tires. And it just depends on how you want to do it. But that's why it's up for discussion.
You talking about 2026, you talking about spending $450,000 on purchase.
Those big prices you got careful, 36. Either 36 and 34.
Is it 31, 36?
I would say based on what we're seeing and evaluating the claims and, utility bidding, you're right, the leasing, gentlemen, and I'm we're spending a significant amount of money. I know from the utility side, like Ray, the TPA yesterday and today, the repair utility was just eating us alive. And if we start leasing and they have a time schedule on when those repairs or the maintenance is done, it saves us so much because not only the timing, because the way the shop works now, first responders, it's with the PD, the fire, and the public works. And then, of course, if we have anything in the election that we have to have, and the warrant that we have to have, that we try to work in, cost is.
Vehicles will eat your lunch, especially when you run a fleet of any significant size. Vehicles are definitely a factor. Now, one thing that was intriguing to me and kind of drew me to the deal that Enterprise pitched is that they monitor the vehicles. I mean, every one of them that we lease from them, they monitor them. They're monitoring the market and they're monitoring where we are on our vehicles. And they'll call us and say, hey, it's time to get off XYZ vehicle. Market's good, set it, retain some value, and all the value that's there comes back to, they give it back to us, a refund. And I thought that was a value-added proposition, if it works the way they pitched it. And they seem to be doing what they said they were going to do with the vehicle we've done for PD. I know that the lady called off, she get on my nerves calls from them. So they're definitely, doing what they said they were going to do so far. And one of our partner communities, I know Starkville is doing it. They're leasing, I think, their entire fleet. If they haven't, they're migrating to leasing the entire fleet. I know the police department is leasing. What was that, Chief? Columbus too. So So that seems to be the trend, man, because we're not the only ones taking a bloodbath on vehicles. It's every municipality, anybody that's running a fleet again of any significant size.
Attorney, is there a value from a liability standpoint to having somebody drive their own vehicle and getting the stipend over controlling that asset?
No, the only question is whether they're in the course and scope of their employment. So that's the only issue, is what the mayor pointed out earlier. The question is gonna be whether or not he's engaged in services on behalf of the city, or not at the time some incident occurred.
All right, any more discussion? Is there any action on this line item?
Mr. Mayor, I move that, we allocate this stipend for Mr. Jones and allocate that money towards the, future purchase of a vehicle or lease purchase of a vehicle, whichever we do so choose.
There's a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
It's been moved properly second. Any discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, agenda item 17, asking for board approval for travel for Officer Arnie Cade to attend contraband parcel interdiction and controlled deliveries training September 9th and 10th in Pearl, Mississippi.
Mayor, make a motion to approve travel for Officer Cade to Pearl, Mississippi.
Second.
Moved properly second. Any discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 18, asking for approval, travel for investigator Carl Carter to attend law enforcement symposium September 17th and 18th in Choctaw, Mississippi.
Mayor, make a motion to approve travel for Officer Carl Carter to Choctaw, Mississippi.
Second.
Moved and properly second. Any discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 19, asking for travel approval for Battalion Chief Donahue to attend fire investigator class September 21st through October 2nd in Pearl, Mississippi.
Mayor, make a motion to approve travel for Battalion Chief Pete Donahue to Pearl, Mississippi.
Second.
Moved properly second. Any discussion?
The only discussion is last night, just for the public's sake, we did ask for all these travel requests within the budget line items and everything was answered yes, so we did discuss this.
Well, if it's not, it's gonna stand out like a sore thumb in our Monday morning, department meeting. Any more discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 21, asking for travel approval for Building Inspector Lonzo Riley to attend an IBC class September 22nd and 26th in Myrtle Beach.
Mayor, make a motion to approve travel for Mr. Lonzo Riley to Myrtle Beach.
Second.
Moved properly second. Any discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Agenda item 22, asking for travel approval for investigator Carl Carter to attend interview and interrogation level training October 2nd and 3rd in Batesville, Mississippi.
Mayor, make a motion to approve travel for Officer Carl Carter to Batesville, Mississippi.
Move. Second. Moved properly second. Any discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 23, travel approval for Chief Operator Sean Dawes to attend. Oh, I'm sorry. I was told you she cooked. Mississippi Rural Water Association Fall Training, October 14th through 16th in Tupelo.
Mayor, make a motion to approve Chief Operating Officer Sean Dawes to travel to Pearl, Mississippi. Second.
Moved properly second. In discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 24 is board approval for Mayor Bobo to attend MML 2025 Small Town Conference October 15th through 16th in Philadelphia.
Mayor, I make a motion to approve travel for the small town conference in Philadelphia, Mississippi.
Second.
Moved and properly second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We're moving to our department head reports. I want to start with, code enforcement. Sammy, you want to go first? Because I know that you, I'm sorry.
Nothing, more than just working on.
Okay. You didn't want to give us an update on the class that you went to?
Oh, yeah, I
Yeah, you come to the podium. Just give us an overview of, some key points that you got from the conference.
Yeah, during my, visit at the conference, more than anything was networking. Speaking with a lot of different municipalities throughout the state, speaking with them on some of the issues that I'm dealing with here, so they were able to give me a little more information to carry on, some of the issues that I have. The class that we took was more like courtroom appearances, and I know that's something that's gonna happen most likely in the future, which was real interested and informative. We took some more classes dealing with empathy, dealing with some of the citizens, dealing with all the different obstacles we come across, when we're dealing with different citizens. So overall, it was a great conference like it was last year. I guess mainly because last year was my first time going to a conference, and that was more like one of the ones that reached me a little bit better. But this is right here, been dealing with the field for a little while now. But overall, it was a great conference.
You touched on something that's interesting. You said you took a class on empathy.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's something that we should all exercise when we're dealing with the public. Because you think about it, more often than not, we rarely engage with satisfied people in the city. Sure. It's usually somebody who's got some type of issue, and more often than not, they're already on 10. And so we have to be very cautious and very fluid in de-escalation situations and not throwing gas on fires, and how to, talk to people with respect, which should come easy. That should be, part of your DNA. But the empathy piece that you just mentioned really resonated with me, because I have to, we all, you just have to bite your tongue a lot in this business, and you have to, kind of put yourself in other people's shoes a lot. And just understand, where folks are coming from sometimes. It's not, that doesn't mean you can deviate from our rules. It's just a way to do it, a way to present yourself.
Exactly, and it's funny to say, the week after the conference, it came to me on parts of the class, and I had to use it with the citizens. So it came in very handy, So overall, like I said, it was a great class, conference. Look forward to the next one. So hopefully y'all do what's next.
Was the class well attended from areas of the state?
It was. Actually, last year when I was there, I did see Tupelo. So cities like Tupelo, Meridian, Hattiesburg, those 3 cities right there, their code enforcement broke off into wards. So some of those cities have like 5 and 4 wards, so they have code enforcement per ward. And I told them, I said, I deal with this all of them, which West Point is not as big as the rest of those. Right. And they just tell me, say, I know you got your work cut out, and I was like, yeah, but I'm good for it. So, right. So it all worked out, like I said, reaching out to them.
Were there other communities there that had just the one code enforcement under the same structure that we have?
Actually, Columbus, and I was surprised to hear that, because Columbus only have one code enforcement over there.
It's a young lady, right? I met she a young lady.
Yes.
Yeah, I met her.
Yeah, I met her last year also, so we exchanged numbers.
Everything that man said, that's all you did.
That's all they heard.
Like I said, it's a hard job, but yet at the same time, cut for it. I know Mr. Ryder right here could speak the same, but overall,
like I said, it was a great conference, and, learned a lot, you know, like I said, that part that, pointed out, and, you know, me being the guy that I am, you know, I like to always view it other than my view. So I like to kind of get into their shoes and see their thoughts and their understanding behind it. And, like I said, that following week, you know, I was tested, and I used some of the, points that I found in class, and it worked.
Appreciate you.
All right.
Well, I will continue to advocate for training and continuing education, because I'm of the belief that a well-trained workforce is an enhancement in services that we provide, which should be all of our goal to make West Point better. That's what we all raised our hand, took that oath, and vowed that we would do. So I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I was going back through my notes and I didn't have it crossed out, but on item number 20 for board approval for firefighter Brad Gable to attend the
Hazmat.
hazmat.
Did I miss that one?
I didn't have it crossed off. I just want to make sure.
Old age.
I'm sorry.
But we'll go back to agenda item 20. Thank you, sir, for pointing that out. Need board approval for firefighter Brad Gable to attend hazmat awareness operations class in Pearl, September 21st to 25th.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to approve travel for firefighter Brad Gable to Pearl, Mississippi.
Second.
Moving properly second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries. Thank you for pointing that out. Mr. Ryan?
Mr. Mayor, board, first, other than what's on my report.
Any questions for building inspector? Fire chief?
Other than what I stated last night, thanks for the thoughts, prayers, visits, phone calls. I have nothing else. I'm working on stuff on the truck, getting the prices on a couple of other competitive trucks also. Waiting for those, and I'm listing them, I'm waiting for this information.
Questions for fire chief?
Chief, how you help? You got, what position?
I'm good.
You good? 100%? You 100%?
No. I can't go with any bench press competition or anything like that.
Well, were you doing that before the accident? Thank you, sir. Chief?
Yes, sir. Mayor, Secretary, Board, and Ms. Dawes, just have a couple of things. As I mentioned last night, want to ask of the board's consideration to receive 2 resignations. One of the resignations is Malika Nash, and the other resignation is Jonisha Blunt.
Mayor, I make a motion to accept the resignation of Officer Nash.
Second. Moving properly second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Can you read the name of the second?
I make the motion that we accept the chief recommendation for deletion plan.
Second.
Moving properly second, any discussion? All in favor by sign of vote aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Only other thing I have is just reminders, as I mentioned last night, October 4th, we're having Baptist Town Festival or reunion. And October the 10th and the 12th, Faith in the Group. And the last thing is the swearing in for myself on September 9th.
We want to know you grilling that day?
Is that it?
Are you grilling that day?
I have something.
Thank you.
Any questions for police department? Thank you, sir. Public Works Director?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, thank you for where, Public Works Chief, operating on, like, cleaning the sludge at the South Water Treatment Plant with, helping, clean the lead out, and it saved the city significant bond money. So, even Mr. White was pretty, pleased with the process. We got it in and got it done about 4 or 5 days.
He did mention that to me, and, you're right, he did tell me, I don't know the actual dollar amount, but he did say that that saved the city a significant amount of money, so kudos to you, guys, man, good to meet you.
Prayer routes, it was, good, for his grass cutting. We got, cut up on it, that's city grass, like property, all the way, good, month and all, so. LED stop sign, we got them up on, Fourth Broad, Wade. And, we got, Miller Crew, digging over on, what's East Martin. Been in the accidents there, they doing something that we did. So, other than that, we are still got associated with the shop. But we running through, but we have one still in the shop.
Wasn't the deadline for the lease due
Tomorrow.
today, tomorrow, so we made a decision if we still need the lease, or
Mr. John has decision to, release it, we definitely need, the one who's trained is still in the shop.
You still with no timeline on when it'll be?
They haven't, you know, we had two in the shop, they gave one back, one actually transition toward me.
Just for the benefit of the board, I can't remember who all was in this meeting, but we did meet with a group, Truck Works, actually, a group that we met in the mail. And they gave us a, kind of a generic presentation of renting, garbage trucks. They were waiting on, and we given them the information that they requested from us to make the presentation specific to what we need.
I get
Hey, Mayor, right for you.
Does anybody, Rev, do you know if Mayor gave, you probably wasn't in that meeting. I don't think you were in that meeting.
No.
So I guess I need to follow up with Mary to see if she's giving Truck Works the specifications that they need in order to give us some pricing that's, specific to West Point. This is what we are. That's to my point, man, on leasing. I think we're just in a better position. The stuff that we can lease, whether it be heavy equipment or vehicles, I think we're in a better position when we lease. Thank you, sir. Any questions for Public Works?
Mr. Mayor, may I say something, Mr. Cox? As a point of privilege, you really settled into the administrative aspects of this job, becoming an administrator, not an easy thing. And seeing you stand there and make this report, be comfortable with it, outline the things that you've done, respond to questions is impressive. So good job becoming an administrator and handling this part of the job.
Well, thank you for the very shy.
No, you did a really good job.
Go and get better.
You did a good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Mr. Cox, thanks for the stop signs on Fifth Street.
Thank Pastor Richmond.
Mr. Longstreet?
His mayor, board, attorney, Ms. Clerk, other than what's the report, I don't have anything other than what's in my report and financials.
I think I mentioned this, for the board's information. I'm told, of course, there's still some things I'm finding out, even though I'm going into year 5 of being the mayor. But I'm told that we are supposed to bring in TDA annually to do an inspection on all of our CT meters. Is that?
And the multipliers for the commercial and industrial meters, right there.
So we're supposed to do it every year. We were doing it every year up until I got elected as mayor. And it hasn't been done since I've been the mayor. We have now gotten these people back in, TDAs back in, and we found some meters that are not reading correctly on the industrial side, on the commercial side. And I'm told, and I still don't have it quantified, I don't have a dollar amount, but I'm told that the number could be very significant. That matters because I'm regularly hearing from our consultant, Chris Mitchell, that we need to go up on rates. And that's strictly being predicated on the revenues and expenditures. Revenues are not doing what they're supposed to do, and expenditures are creeping up. Therefore, we're being told that we need to increase rates. Well, if we should have been checking meters every year, we could have been recouping, the revenue side, and we're not looking as grim as we're looking now. So I know I'm all about transparency, so I'm putting it all out there. We do have TVA in now, checking the meters, and I think they checked 7, and we found errors before the 7.
Yes, and there's 287 total.
287 CTUs. So you check the meter and you check the multiplier to make sure that what they're using is that they're accurately paying. So I'm not sure who was supposed to be ordering this inspection every year, but it hadn't been getting done since I've been paying, for whatever reason. But I know about it now, and we'll make sure that going forward that it's done every year. We'll get this one complete, see where it all falls, see how much revenue we've been losing. And I'll report back to the board when I have all the information.
Just make it, just like a board way, when people complain about they get overcharged.
Well, people go.
I'm just saying, it might work both ways. You might charge
On the residential side, everyone that we've had, not even, some have, including mine, have gone up. You have a hot month, so you're gonna use.
Yeah, I'm just saying,
2 to 3 times, and as we've been dealing with customers in the last 3 weeks, the increase in their electric bill, most of it's been on the electric side. Very little has been on the water and the sewage side. Of course, we collect electric, water, sewer, and sanitation. And so I'll be giving you the next month, once we get the final letter from TVA from our meeting yesterday today, and then the next interview will be today. And I won't preempt that until we get the official, and I'll share with the mayor the utility committee. I always try to wait till I get the final before we share, but there are some concerns in some of those areas there. And we work with the customers best we can, as it's talked about at the end of the day, and trying to work with the individuals. We've been trying our best to make sure from the billing side, with the disconnects with water and electric, that when they pay their bill, we get those services restored before 4:30. Even though we have standby people for electric and water, I'm charged to maintain the budget. And so the more people you send out unnecessary emergencies, the more money you're spending, because they're paying the standby time plus whatever time they go out. So what we try to do is make sure that when people come in for disconnect and reconnect, that the cashier says a survey, which police go home, especially like we can control that from the office. Water, we have to send a meter reader out to turn the water on. So what happens is, you pay it at 10:30, they go everywhere they want to go, then they get home at 10:30 or 5:30 at night, they call me and they call whoever, and their lights at night, they turn on, when you have to send someone out. Because sometimes when you hit the switch to turn it on, if you trigger your breaker box, sometimes you have to push it. I've had to do that for mine as well in the past. So we're trying to avoid those things and trying to help cut down the costs. We want them to go out when they need to go out when emergencies, but because I didn't pay my bill, that's not an emergency for them, it's an emergency for me. But I'm responsible for paying the bill.
Well, I say that to say what I was saying. If somebody's bill go up an extra $500, would that be a bad reason for that?
Well, they want to call, we will send someone out to review the meter, we'll check.
But that's a bad reason if it don't that high.
CT meters we talking about, these are commercial.
Okay, I thought residential.
It's all business.
The CT reading on the CT and the multiple are all 287 commercial and industrial accounts. Now, the residential accounts, we can have that inside and try to. Maybe some bad reading, maybe some census could be used.
Good deal.
And I also will report that we had a pretty productive meeting with a company called Consolidated Pipe with respect to our water meters. As we all know, that we've been getting a lot of flack about water meters not reading correctly. And I also think that we're losing revenue because we have some meters that are not even reading at all. And this is citywide and some into the county, because we do own and operate some meters, that are outside of our city boundaries. This company is proposing to pretty much alleviate, the trouble that we're having with respect to water meters. We're just in the talking phases now. I'm trying to negotiate some rates, with them. But now we still have hanging over our head, and I got a very competent, very capable city attorney working on seeing if there's an out with what we're already on the hook for. Because years ago, well before I think anybody on this board, maybe, the city engaged in a contract with a company, and for lack of a better phrase, I think they got sold to snake oil. Because we bought at an astronomical rate citywide some meters that are obsolete now, and we're still paying, and we still owe over $1 million on the note. So I have our city attorney looking into, possibilities. Not saying that we can get from up under it, we're just talking and trying to see, if there's a way out on that old deal so that we can engage with the new deal, make our metering system, better than what it is, so that people's readings are accurate, therefore will make the bills accurate. So these are problems, again, that I did not create. They didn't show up with me on July 1st of 2021. They were already here when I came. I know I get blamed for them all the time, but we had them well before my tenure. I know about them, and so I'm trying to work on ways of correcting the problem, because that's what we all that sit on this panel, we're charged with being problem solvers. So that's what we're trying to do.
I think in 2009, 2009.
All right, anything else to report, Mr. Lawrence? Any questions?
I would say that Darryl, you may know this, Darryl Thomas, my officer prayers, Darryl took sick on Friday and was kept Friday night, Thursday, Friday night observation. He come home Saturday morning, taking a week off, and he's been reluctantly coming in and making sure that the team is working. And Mr. Riley and I have been working with the team to make sure that that everything is done smoothly and working, and going to the sites to see whatever else we can do. And of course, he's been available by phone, and so just keep him in thoughts and prayers as he continues to improve and gets better.
Thank you,
Great
sir.
asset to the city, and as to the electric department, a tremendous amount of knowledge and experience, and so he's at the fingertip. He's on the way, he's on the phone today, he's been on the phone constantly, and we've been working through getting everything taken care of, so nothing has been maxed, no services have been limited, and we'll continue to provide that. But we got all our standby for the month of September, October, November already completed. Who's going to be on standby every week through November, so all we have to do is work on December, so we're proactive. We're not waiting to do it, wait till the end of the month. We've got October, November, December, and I pay everybody for water and sewer. Appreciate your support and helping anything in your water any time of day or night. You already know that you call, and that's how my best to respond to them.
Did we have a lineman that quit yesterday?
Well, I'm not sure, Mr. Graham, it's up and out, it's up and out. He's reconsidered, and he said today he let us know that he made his decision. But we met with him, and he presented verbal and put nothing in writing.
Mr. Devon Alday is available if we need assistance in helping cover work on it. Just throwing that out there, because he can only work for so many hours a year, but his time is back available.
Right. Okay, that's possible. Maybe call him in the next few days.
So when is our potential lineman going to let us know? Tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Park and Rec, Garrett.
Just other, it was all report that discussed last night.
We do have a meeting scheduled for 10 in the morning. Talk about park issues.
We're going to start out here.
I'm sorry.
We're going to start out here at City Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my question, what would be there here.
Well, y'all tell me, I know where you go.
Here's one. I took care of that, last fall.
Okay. Thank you. Any questions for Park and Rec? Thank you, sir. Mr. Jones?
Stated last night, most everything in my report, but the good news, all of that man, I was on $40,000. I was taking probably $800,000 a week. That's cost. We got everything settled, but there was a small. Also, something Keith mentioned, not in our report. The schedule of flight in our first, the day, and they have asked for. It's gonna be a lot of kids and everything. The suggestion was if the board thought about, let's just use the train out there, we use it very often. Rather than for the kids. And everyone is invited, particularly the municipal officials, any of the local people out there. They always have plenty of food, stuff to eat, everything, kids. At the airport, if you haven't been down there in a while, you'll be shocked, you're really nice. Runway's been overlaid, Park Station's been overlaid. We still got some night out in with aircraft that made overnight. That's been done as we speak, and there's still edge work around the runway and the ramp. Is most of the landscape is stuff that has to be done, but that ramp is stuff that is set up. It's not a hazard or a hindrance to the operation of the sport aircraft. It's been coming and going. I think that's not good. Chris, going down there, we have got to be more careful with running over the lights down there. Jason, actually, used to, you had a little incandescent light, one big deal to fix. It didn't cost a lot of money. The LED lights are a little bit different. And I don't know if we got any inventory from that, but we just can't afford to do that. All I can tell people to do it that, they've been doing it for years, and no, I don't know, it's just paying attention, or whatever else, we just have one more new LED light to provide you consider access to the parking lot. And there are those that don't participate in gas levels are starting to go up, we've been really slow, but therefore we've been slow for over a month, no, we've been repaying stuff in there. And you have a guy that comes in and go up and down, but that hot rod car, you have a little bit of gas, we go out there. It's up to the car, or the can, or whatever it is. And it's certainly cheaper than anywhere else, you can get all that and all. We got a lot, right now, there's a lot going on with the grants and the money that we've got, whether it be ARPA money, FGWI money, STAG grants, ARC money, and there's a lot of work going into the reforms and stuff, that we've got to finish up. Tomorrow we'll talk to the board. Plan to finish the FGWI work, but we go along with ARPA. They are saying that this is particularly will cover what they are saying along that. And I think we're going to finish our work on schedule, keep the sewer lines in there on that. And I think Lord, still today, I wouldn't thought we were going to be after the local cost just you still got a little fire hydrant down there, highway. Once we decide more around this position here, we go for a little turn and see what the point proximity fire. You're talking about $10,000. contract for the estimated cost, reimbursement money. We'll build up, come in one line. We've got an awful lot of unanticipated, to go to the EV charging station that has normal problems. So we got into that nightmare, we had no idea what nightmare it was. You know, I talked to Steve when we were working up here. And well, that, just before I came up here tonight, and I was getting that, we got to bring the sun rays up where it was before. Probably something else from those dirt, something like that. So we gotta do that. Bruce could probably do it. But they will, contract, give you that.
Any questions for Mr. Jones?
Yeah, I got one, I'm getting called from my sticker. 1, 2. We got fire hydrant up there on 6th Street. And, talk to a couple people about it. But it's been 2 years, and they still saying, y'all make this promo, ain't nobody showing up. I know we can get somebody up there to fix that hydrant. I think it's 5th Street and 6th Street.
We actually started again this week.
Okay, yeah, I know he called me, I called him.
And they've been talking a little bit, but we know we got 5 or 6 hundred gonna be done. And we'll take care of it, we've got a person to do that kind of work. You know, how we build it.
Yeah, they said they can't sit on the front porch for the mosquitoes and water, like I said, water just right out of the fire. But still, you know, but I talked to several people, spot chief, and put me in the right direction, but it's just been promising. I've been promising, yeah.
The other thing we can do, right out there, is water, who's getting back to any water side? You got any water side? Because we throw the ditches and stuff. Just pick it up there where you're talking.
Yes, sir.
It's standing water there, there's water side there, and they'll be feel it. You hope to keep it.
Really, when you do, sometimes we want to excuse it, or sometimes we don't.
And also the railroad track, he said they were working on the railroad track.
Yeah, the guy called it, he's building the highway stuff, looked a bit over yesterday, they did release a contract on repaving 45.
They started some building today.
At any rate, we've got the crossing there, particularly one close to the Walmart.
Right.
On the list. We're gonna look at the other one up by Sherwood Williams, then over there on Falcon.
Cotton Street, yeah. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
What about railroad crossings in other parts of town? Is that something that the city has complained to the railroad about? Because up on industrial access, you try to access it before they come.
We can't do anything between the rails. You can't touch it. I mean, that's an MDOT KCS deal, MDOT rail, KCS. The only thing we can do is on the approaches outside the rail, I'll tell you what, we get real sensitive about working that close to that railroad. You try to make pavement or whatever else it is, it takes a little bit of coordination between us, but you got some, and I know where you're talking about too. So the railroad goes off every day. And they're pretty rough. Like a little big speed bump.
Yeah.
So my question is that something that the city usually complains about, or we just go in there and fix it? I know you said we can't work inside the railroad, but do we normally just?
Anything outside the rail, basically, except on 45, is our responsibility.
Well, I haven't looked that close to find out where the roughness come from. I just know if you drive over this, it'll rattle you pretty good. So I guess, Chris, can we get our street department to just see if it's something that's on us or not? If it's on the railroad, we'll make the appropriate phone call and get them to come fix it.
The other thing is, sometimes blue side up, I'll hear from MDOT. We have to keep those advanced road markings for the railroad crossing paved. You can't let them deteriorate where you can't see. And I can tell you, we got some, I'm sure we do. And when that one guy comes through, however often he comes through, they'll send me a laundry list of the ones that need to be done. And that's our responsibility.
Do we ever communicate that to Public Works so that they'll know? Do we ever communicate that to Public Works so that they'll know?
I haven't got that one. I know it's been more than 6 months, but it probably will get one soon.
Well, that seems to me like just a simple communication piece. Right.
Well, and you don't have to wait on that inspector to come, you know, we can see them ourselves if they're not in good shape. And when the stop bars, stop signs and stuff. Yeah, y'all do a good job, Richard. Keep that stuff up in those departments.
Well, let's communicate, guys and ladies. If we know something needs to be done, we know that, you know, we're the ones, we're the doers. So let's make sure that we communicate what needs to be done to the appropriate personnel, and then if it's not getting done after that point, you know, we got a bigger issue. But communication is the key. I think we all see enough of each other to tell us what needs to be done.
I try to take it.
Any questions for?
I got one more good news for you. Keep your stop signs up out there. I don't know, but there's a three-way stop now at the west gate. We got the overhead light changed from caution light to red, and they got the flashing stop sign. Not over red light.
Is that the golf cart crossing? Is that gonna be the golf cart crossing?
That's up to y'all, if you want to do it. That is, it's kind of like the edge right across, it's like, one free gas.
Yeah, very good. I got you.
The president of the homeowner association done sent a thank you and said it looks great. He sent that to me when I was on my way here this afternoon.
Couple things I have, I encourage y'all department heads to examine our income statement, examine your budget. At this point in the fiscal year, if you're operating anywhere north of 16, 17%, you're trending in the wrong direction. So pay close attention to your spending, because we're supposed to be on track for 12 months in the fiscal year. You should be somewhere around 17% on your spending. So if you're not there, take a look at your individual line items and see what's out of whack, maybe some stuff out of your control. If that is, we certainly do understand that. But I want us to be mindful and very conscious of our spending, because you cannot spend money that is not there. Plain and simple. Second thing that I report is that I did follow up with the link. You know, they've had their own set of issues in the last few weeks with transition. Meryl Frizzackley is the go-to person right now as it stands. I had a conversation with her yesterday about City of West Point's interest in what we got going on with them. She assured me that Project Tonka, which is the code name of the deal that we've been working on for probably about 18 months now. She said that it is still on track. The company that is proposing to come is compiling documents to send to TVA to get their whatever approvals they have to get for the power sources. That's what's being done now. I know that they had some archaeological challenges that they, according to her, that they are either working through or have worked through. So I'm saying all that to say that the deal is still going in the right direction, despite the turmoil that the link is going through. And I'll continue to stay in touch with them and update the board, you know, if there be any changes related to that.
Mr. McInerney, so with the ED board, we gave it to October 1st. We're supposed to give back October 1st.
Yeah, October 1st is supposed to be drop dead date on when we're supposed to know either the in or the out is when the deal occurs.
Mayor, just got an email from TVA executive, and of course I had lunch with the chairman. At this time, they do not propose a rate increase for the fall. TVA does not at this point anticipate.
So that 3.5% increase that's been talked about is off the table right now?
At this point.
Well, that's good news for everybody in here. If you file it, anything else to claim our attention before? I know there's no need for public appearance, Mr. Patel. We appreciate you coming back tonight. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn to determine the need for executive session.
Mayor, I make a motion to adjourn to determine the need for an executive session. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor by sign of voting aye. Opposed? There it is.
Outside.